All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Um, as we're waiting for people to start to hop on the call or on the live, um, yeah, I moved this over to today because last night it just couldn't happen. So, um, welcome. Thanks for joining. This is the space that I've been working on setting up to, and where I've been teaching my first ever online full hypnotherapy course. So the 11 students in the class it's just been perfect because when we're on Zoom like this, it ends up being like, um, 12 squares with me. And so we've been using this technology and using this new way of existing right now to go through the full hypnosis certification and hypnotherapy training. So this is the space that I've been using. I have a curtain to cover the whiteboard. I thought about putting some art there. So that's been fun. I'm just going to find myself on Facebook so that I can see any comments or any highs or any shout outs. Also, I just thought I would go full neon today because I was wearing this yellow shirt outside and it just felt so good to be free, just to be kind of like bright and shining. And this is something that really kept coming to me as I was teaching the class. So it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So they did their first 4 days. It's intensive. It's like 9 till 4:30. We definitely take breaks, but always when I teach this class, I learn more and new things come to me. And it helps me to see how hypnosis can be something that is more accessible to everybody and then gives everybody a more of an opportunity to not only feel more relaxed and more at ease with life and the things that are out of our control in life, but also to learn how to properly work with our own mind. And that's what I thought I would bring to the session today. First getting into self hypnosis and what even that is. And then I'll guide you through um, the process, but basically, I'll be hypnotizing you as you hypnotize yourself. But often, hypnotists and people in the hypnosis industry will say all hypnosis is self hypnosis. So, thanks for joining. This is definitely going to be a little bit of an intro about self hypno, and then I'll show you how it works. Now, if you have not ever been in hypnosis, it might be harder for you to know when you are in self hypnosis. But here's the thing, whether you're practicing self hypnosis or getting hypnosis, or let's say even listening to some hypnosis audios, you're still going to have the ability to go deeper the more that you do. So, this is the thing about hypnosis that sometimes gets overlooked, right? Because people will often think that if you try it and it doesn't work, then you can't be hypnotized or then you can't go into that space. But the thing is that it's not like that. Hypnosis is definitely something that the more that you do, the deeper you go, and then the more that you learn how to click, how to flip that switch, because it really is something that is, as soon as you get it and you kind of understand like what is the difference, because it's not like hypnosis isn't like a black and white on or off in that sense, like you're not out of it and then in it. It might seem like that sometimes on, an entertainment style where they're like sleep, but it's really not like that. It's a gradual going into, if you would think about all of the levels between like awake and asleep. and then all of the potential different levels of relaxation that exist in that. And so when I say once you get the feeling of it and you understand the difference between being awake and being in hypnosis, then you get a sense of it. So you could feel it. Like, for example, when I'm starting to go into hypnosis, even self hypnosis, I can kind of feel it in the back of my head. And then as I feel it in the back of my head, I start to like kind of, I guess, like trust it, right? Because then I start to go into it and I'm like, okay, right. But it's so often that you just might not have had the sensation or the opportunity to continuously be practicing or going into hypnosis. That's why always, if you do go to someone, repetitive sessions are going to get the most results because the deeper you go, the more that's possible in the accessing of the shift and the change in the subconscious mind. And then the deeper you go, the more you relax and the more trusting that you are in general too. All right. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Vicky. Thanks for joining. And, as we're getting into thinking about this, like, what even is hypnosis? And what I'll do is, as I'll guide you through this idea of how to hypnotize yourself, they definitely are things, these are definitely things that you can practice at home. And if you're really wanting to delve into this more, I would definitely suggest um, doing hypnosis, like being hypnotized, because if you can really go deep enough, if you get there, then you'll have no doubt when you're there, even on your own. And let me tell you again, it's not like you're there and you're just like, okay, I'm in this whole other dream and I don't know what's going on. And, it's not like that. It's just that you are falling out of the logical thinking mind. And really, if we want to think about the thinking mind, the logical mind, and then the feeling mind and the subconscious mind, but also the emotional mind. So it's really about moving into that space, out of knowing, out of needing to know, out of into trusting, into allowing, but not from a logical thinking perspective. So to give you an idea of this, if you think about a time, like if you think about when you're, say, feeling emotional, and then nothing that you logically think or say, or somebody else logically thinks or say helps you, right? And that vibe of being in a feeling where logic has no ability to help. And this is also because the subconscious mind, that emotional mind, that mind that has access, that higher mind has access to everything that you need, does not think in words, and it's not as complex as you think, but it's not something that you can convince, because how you feel or how you felt, or say you get triggered from, say you're in a relationship now and something that your person that you're with right now says to you triggers something from a past relationship. And then, your logical mind starts to develop all sorts of uh, like boundaries or protection or anger or whatever it does. It starts to be like, this isn't fair, or I deserve to be treated better, or whatever it is. But it's not taking into account into what's actually happening and where that feeling is coming from. And so this is what we're looking at, is like we're trying so often to solve problems in that are actually in the emotional mind, in the logical mind. And this is why willpower is so ineffective, and also why we feel so alone, why we feel so frustrated. And it's easy to fall into victim mode because we just feel like everything's against us and we don't have the love, the support, the life, the work, the relationships, whatever it is that we really want or deserve. But when we're resolving things in the place where it exists, then there's an opportunity for miracles, really. It's the best way I can say it, because over the years I just can't even believe still the shifts that happen, the things that happen. And because of that, it's not really effective to try to logically change something. This is where we always say, I should know better, or I know better, but I can't do it. And, if we're not taking into account how the mind actually works, we might say, come on, what's wrong with you? Just do it. But the thing is, when we're starting to understand how the mind works, we understand that that's not how it works. And when we start to think about how can I support my mind, with my emotions to be the change that I desire, then we're looking at, it's not even self hypnosis or hypnosis as the answer. It's about taking that time to go within. So, hi, Darcy. Would consuming alcohol before a session affect the session? Good question. I often think about like stage hypnotists and how when they're bringing people up, they'll say like, if you had a couple drinks, don't come up. So it's not that anything bad would happen. It's just that, if we're looking to use hypnosis to bypass the critical factor and kind of work with some of the brain functioning might just not be in its peak state. But that to me would be more of like if, someone's coming in like for a session. Whereas if you had a drink or two and you were just feeling relaxed, there's no reason why you couldn't just relax more, right? Because again, hypnosis isn't there's no threat in going into a relaxed state ever. In fact, sometimes it is just like, a natural substance of getting us to be in that place. But the difference is that when we go into that space naturally, we have access to a lot of information. And if we're really thinking about connecting to the emotional mind and to the deeper mind, or let's really think of it today as the higher mind, then we have so much opportunity in a day, in a moment, in any time, no matter where we're at, to connect. And that's the message that I really felt would be helpful to bring today, because I I can see how this is a really difficult time and we're being called to do things differently than we did before, and ways that we did some things before aren't really available to us right now, and even if they were, they're not necessarily the healthiest or the most effective or the most self-loving. And so to me, I feel like this is a really nice time to bring in an opportunity to relax more. And so when I say self hypnosis, it's really about learning how to drop yourself into a space that is not concerned with the what the conscious mind is up to. So it doesn't mean not having any thought. It's more of a meditative space, but there's techniques that you can use to really get into that faster. And that's what I'm going to get into right now. Because what's really effective about this too is that rather than be in the conscious mind, um, thinking about an affirmation, say, thinking about a nice thing to tell yourself, thinking about, bringing things into your life more. This is more about understanding that if you can at first take the time to practice dropping into a more relaxed state, then once you're there, the things that you visualize and the thoughts or the words or the affirmations that you say to yourself will take hold, will be implanted, will really start to become your reality. And maybe not in the way that you think, but really in such a better way. Because oftentimes we do think that we know what we should be doing and what we need to do to get to from point A to point B. But when we start to learn how to tap into the subconscious mind, we start to recognize that we don't know first. And even if we think we know, that way is way harder. That way is super planned and it's really difficult in terms of surrender because there's not any space for humanism. There's no space for being beautiful in the imperfection of human as of being a human being. And there's often not a lot of joy in a really um in a plan that's really logically based and doesn't allow for miracles, doesn't allow for information and insight to come in to make it more of a path of least resistance. Okay. So there's many different self hypnosis techniques that you could find on the internet. There's so many, and I'm not really going to get too specific into all these different techniques. I'm going to show you a few techniques that I've used over the years, and you can try it out for yourself today. Um, Also, basically knowing, I guess, that like there's nothing that you're supposed to feel, there's nowhere that you have to go as you're doing any type of relaxation exercise. You're going to feel your limitations, okay? Like you're going to feel how you start to, realize how not relaxed you are or how more relaxed you could be. That doesn't mean that you're not doing it right. It just means that, yeah, as you do this more, as you tap into that space within you more, you will learn that. And that will become more and more of your norm. So I'll tell you some techniques we're going to use, and then I'll roll you through it. So one of the techniques that I personally really like for self hypnosis is fractionation. So fractionation is when you open and close your eyes, open and close your eyes. So sometimes if I was, say you were my client, um, outside of self hypnosis, I might say, in a moment, I'll get you to open and close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, you'll go deeper relaxed, doubling your relaxation. Now, or sometimes I'll say, um, you know, the I'll say, if you look at my hand and when I'm counting, you'll open your eyes and then close your eyes. And I'll say, open your eyes, close your eyes. Two, open your eyes, close your eyes. Three, open your eyes, close your eyes, right? There's all different ways that we can do this. What we're going to do for you guys is it's very simple. You can breathe in. So you would breathe in and have your eyes open. And then as you exhale, close your eyes. So on the inhale, you open, and on the exhale, you close. That's it. And generally speaking, I would do this about 3 times and then go on to the next step. Now, with self-hypnosis, even if you haven't been into hypnosis before, it is really great to have an intention, just the intention of going into hypnosis. So it's kind of like just thinking, okay, I'm going to go into hypnosis now. It's really more for your general higher mind to understand this is what we're doing than any other part of you. And so what we're going to do here is just start there. Start there with me. Just kind of take a moment and start with your eyes open. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in and out, eyes closed. On your own time and pace, when you open, eyes open when you inhale. When you exhale, eyes closed. Then, doing that one more time. And on your exhale, closing your eyes, keeping them closed, and going deeper, relaxed. Now, the next step would be counting yourself down. I love a countdown. I love using countdowns in all things hypnosis. I like it if I'm doing it self hypnosis or if I'm hypnotizing someone else. And so the whole idea is that every number that you count takes you deeper relaxed. And so every number that you count down takes you deeper relaxed. So I'm putting it in there as a suggestion already to your subconscious mind. But if I was doing this for you, I would say every number that I count down takes you deeper relaxed. And so now for yourself, knowing that as you count yourself down, you go deeper relaxed. If you're already relaxed, that's cool. I'm going to start from the beginning again with the eyes open and go down after this. But the countdown that I like to use is a 25 down to 1 countdown. And what happens is, I don't know, it doesn't happen to everyone, but definitely happens to me. And I know it happens to other people too, which is as I start to count down and get more relaxed, I lose count. And then I'm like, oh, where was I? But the thing is, you can just pick a number close to where you were and keep counting down. We like to keep the focus on the countdown. And even if your mind is wandering or does drift off or misses a number, that's okay. And so this is really important with hypnosis, is just the understanding that you can't get it wrong. So then you're counting yourself down. And when you get to 1, that would be your time to hang out or visualize something or think a positive affirmation. But what we'll do today is I'll take you through it. And then once we're done, we get to 1 done, then I'll do the positive affirmations for you. So if you're watching and there's something you want me to work on once we're in the more relaxed hypnotic state, just pop a message in the comments under this video so I can tailor the suggestions for what you're wanting to work on. Some things that I'll just automatically do is, strengthening your ability to drop more into this relaxed space as you keep going. Um, I'll also always be putting in suggestions for coming back to love and letting go of fear and really bringing in that trust. Okay, yeah, Vicky, I can for sure work on monkey mind. That's a really great one because sometimes, oh yeah, Lisa, for sure. The chatter of the mind. This is a really great example because sometimes people might think that if they're in hypnosis or even to do like a self-hypnosis, that their mind would have to be off, that they would have to be like off. But the thing is that it's really not like that. It's that thinking conscious mind could be thinking something while the subconscious mind is still there and becoming more receptive. It is very important to not give value to it. Okay, there's my mind thinking things again while I'm going into hypnosis. So we'll definitely do that. And work on the mechanisms that create that. I'll do that. And so that's a really great one, because sometimes we could be quite busy in our minds, or kind of be always working in our minds, that it could feel like it's not a break. Even when we're actually not physically doing something, it doesn't feel like a mental break. And so, taking a moment, let's just begin with this, and I'll guide you through this, and then I'll explain how you can have more access to this after. So let's just start wherever you are, just kind of getting settled in. Maybe you'll lean back, or you could lay down, if you're somewhere that you can lay down. And so, really taking a moment to just settle in, maybe taking a couple of nice deep breaths. And right from the beginning, um, connecting with that breath, having the intention to go into hypnosis for yourself, whatever that is, your mind knows. And then starting with the exercise of breathing in, eyes open, fractionation, so breathing out, eyes closed. In, eyes open. On your own pace is fine. Eyes closed on the exhale. One more time, inhaling, eyes open, and exhaling, eyes closed. Keeping them closed now and going deeper, relaxed. If you're doing this for yourself, you could simply tell yourself, deeper, relaxed, or deeper, relaxed. Now, great. And so, taking a moment to now think about counting yourself down from 25 to 1. I'm going to do it for you, and find your own breathing through it. Just allow yourself. Sometimes it's nice to do a breath in between each number. But if you find yourself just in a relaxing breath, kind of drifting off as I'm going through this, allow that to happen. Like I said, you don't have to be super aware. You can let yourself drift, knowing that every number, as I'm counting it down, takes you deeper, relaxed. And if you were doing it for yourself, would also take you deeper, relaxed. So here we go. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. And sometimes for myself, I'll even say deeper, relaxed. 20, 19, 18. Muscles continuing to soften, lengthen, loosen. Deeper, relaxed. 17, 16, 15, 14, deeper and deeper. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. That's it. Again, just rolling with it, know where that you need to be, understanding that that higher mind is always listening. And so all that we're doing here is we're just giving it an opportunity to be more receptive. We're giving ourselves an opportunity to come more out of the thinking into the feeling and observing space. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful relaxation. Now, if you were chilling here on your own, you can just take a pause there. If it's taken you a bit to get there, you can always give yourself a nice sigh, like, just kind of shake things off even more, especially if it has felt like there's a lot of thinking going on. And even if it feels like there's some thinking right now, what you're doing is you're just giving yourself a break from listening, you know, where you're letting the other part of your mind, your being, have a voice. And so taking a moment and softening into that space. And here, if you were doing this on your own, you could, you could take a moment to just let yourself think positive thoughts, find something positive to think about. You could take a moment and visualize yourself doing something you really want to be doing. And I mean, want to be doing, not something that you've decided that you should be doing. I mean, something that you feel like you really want to be doing. And taking a moment there, you can. Now, here with me, since I'm here with you in this space, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to go deeper with this, to resolve even deeper. So, to take a moment to um, connect with yourself and just feel this out for yourself. Feel out like the emotions that are behind your thinking. And this might not be like, oh, it's this emotion that, I'm feeling this emotion, so I'm thinking this thought. It's more just understanding that when the mind is overactive, there's unprocessed emotion, and there's emotion that we might just not be fully accessing or experiencing or getting the insight or the information that we need to continue on living life in a better, happier, healthier way from the inside. So, to just take a moment, I'll give you a moment here to have that space to just go within. Just be there with yourself and tap into those emotions that you maybe, a good way to know what might be kind of stuck for you is to go into any part of your mind that has it that's thinking, oh, I shouldn't feel like this, or it's bad that I feel like this, or I should feel happier, I should be more grateful, or I should enjoy this more. Whatever that should is, there's going to be an a helpful feeling underneath. So whatever that should is, go into that space. Go into that space and let it be. Let yourself feel how you feel. No matter how privileged you are, or how much you should be happy because of what you have, or how much you think you should be doing. The key here is to just feel how crappy you feel, or afraid you feel, or stressed you feel, so you can understand that your mind is just used to creating physical actions or external things to do to feel better. It's just that it's not effective. So, um, you know, not effective to really get to understanding where this is coming from. Yeah, you could strap and not really have to deal with your busy mind, but it doesn't change the fact that it's there if you were to stop. So, taking a moment to just consider that, to consider giving yourself the opportunity to feel without judgment. Let yourself feel irritated, annoyed, frustrated, upset, scared, angry, especially in those moments that you can really, you can really tell that you feel like you should feel different, you know, where you really feel like you should feel different than you feel. Mhm. Especially those. And then breathe and let go. Breathe and let go. Breathe and let go. Breathe and let go. And not need to feel differently, but give yourself permission to feel however you feel. It'll pass, like all feelings do. And, as you're giving yourself the opportunity today to soften, you have a space to create new pathways of thinking. So, thinking that is more directed and connected to relaxation and ease. So, taking a moment here to bring in the light. If there is something you've been meaning to tell yourself, or a way that you feel like you haven't been recognizing, like how adaptable you are, or how great of a parent you are, or how much you are growing, or how you could just be okay with things in yourself as you are. And so taking that moment to just be here and bring in the light. Let yourself smile. Let now be enough. Let what you haven't done yet leave your mind and come to now. And then learn how to speak to yourself in more productive ways. So every time that you take a few deep breaths, get more into a relaxed state, and then breathe, and then be positive, or then tell yourself an affirmation. You could even just say something we use in self-hypnosis, actually, and in the training, and I use with my clients, is every day in every way, I feel better and better. Every day in every way, I feel better and better. Every day in every way, I feel better and better. Every day in every way, I feel better and better. And every day you will continue to feel a more ease, like deeper sense of ease from within, a light shining, where even when you're doing those things that feel like obligation, um, you're really considering your relationship to the things that you are doing, and whether or not you really want to be, and whether or not you can look at something differently. But most of all, just keep knowing that the more that you tap into a space of relaxation, the better you'll feel, the more things will flow, the less on it you might be in terms of getting so much done. But then you'll allow things to get done in ways that you hadn't considered before. So it's really about being open to learning by the guidance of your inner resources and your inner mind, rather than being pressured and pushed by your practical, logical, what seems like you should do next mind. So, nice deep breath in. Feeling the space that you've created for yourself today, giving yourself some smiles, some hugs. And in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3. And at 3, you'll be back in the room, relaxed, awake, and aware. The effects from this are going to continue to be with you throughout the night, throughout tomorrow, throughout your week. You're going to really find that even leading up to next Wednesday night, when we do this again, that you'll have been able to get that sense of flow, and get your groove back in the meantime, while sleeping even better. So 1, starting to come back up, 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 coming back. 2 and 3, eyes open, back in the room, relaxed, awake, and aware. Feels wonderful, doesn't it? And feel free to pop any comments about your experience in the comments there under the video. And so, just to go over it briefly, we'll just be here for a couple more moments, is to just understand that the relaxed state of mind isn't a non-thinking state of mind. It's just practicing being less in control, ultimately. It's practicing trusting that deeper part of yourself and your mind to take over sometimes. That's all. To listen to it more, to guide you more. And it's less about doing things out of obligation and more about having patience, letting things flow. The more that I've been doing this work myself over the years, but actually like over the last little bit, has been like I realized like when I look back at different moments in my life where I was making decisions or trying to decide where to go or what to do or what to buy, or even in relationships with conflict, the more I can see how I couldn't just chill. Like I couldn't relax and let things happen, or relax and let a decision take a bit of time to feel out, or let a conflict with someone have a bit of time to feel out. And so what happens is then we start to have like these really military like expectations on ourselves to do and plan and resolve. And it really then can cause resentment if other people aren't putting in the same effort because we're not letting them, come to things on their own. So that's why I started to feel like this practice could be really helpful to share. You're welcome, Sherry. Oh, Karen, hi. You're welcome. Happy you enjoyed it. And so I actually do have an audio that I created a while back that does guide you through the self-hypnosis process. So I don't have a link to it, but what I'll do is I'll create one. And then, hi, Kara. Two of my students are on here, I see. They're in the class right now, so that's awesome to see you, ladies. And Vicky, that's great. Like noticing a huge difference in how things affect you. So they've been doing the class for 4 days. That's awesome. I was wondering how it was going, with our break right now. And so, right. So there's a couple things. I'm going to grab the one audio link that I do have right now. Let's see. I'm gonna look for it. Okay. And then the other one that I have is, like I was saying, it's an audio that guides you through that process, open and close the eyes, and then the counting down. So that one I'll also create a link for right here, and then I'll just post it in the comments. So if you want to come back to this page, well, actually, once I post in the comments on this page, you'll get a notification if you've liked or commented on this video. So if you want to see, because the one that I have, I'll just share for free. About how to do self-hypnosis. So it will guide you to keep practicing that. And I know that that's sometimes easier than, if you're like, okay, how did she do that? Or even if you read something, this is like you simply just have to listen to it. So I'll pop that on later when I create a link for it. And then I also have the link to this one that I have that is an audio that I created for this time, which is From Fear to Love. And it takes you into that process of hypnosis with me. And then this one, what I've done is I've made it, I've guided you to really go beyond the external blocks or the internal blocks that could be stopping you from feeling less busy minded, feeling more motivated by fear or emotion. And so this one I've really created as a very in-depth process actually to guide you through feeling through some of that stuff. So yeah, I posted that one from Fear to Love that I just created. And then the self-hypnosis one, I'm going to go and get it all hooked up for you right now, and I'll pop a link. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Anyone who's watching after, even if you've come to this after, feel free to pop in a comment or a question. I'll get notified if that's the case. You can always send me a personal message if you have a more personal question or something that you don't want to ask on the public page. And really, keep remembering to value and to honor that part of you that you can trust to keep you safe and to keep you secure and to keep guiding you day by day into the best possible thinking and feeling and scenarios for you. So, sending all my love. Namaste. Ciao for now. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks, ladies. Oh, hi, Carol. Thank you. Wonderful. Take care, everyone. Good night.